What's going on, YouTube world? Said Hendo here. And of course, I got another video talking about products that just are not that great, that have failed me in some form or fashion. And you know what? Today, not going to be good right now, man. Let me tell you about this right here. I'm sure y'all can see this name very clearly. I'm going to be talking about cameras. You know, one of the things that is the biggest disappointment in quads and mini quads and even full-size quads, some of them, is the fact that the cameras aren't really up to par a lot of times. Or at least it was that way probably 2 years ago. You know, 2 years ago, probably more like 3 years ago now, I was using this camera right here, and some of you may know this, what this is. It's a Fat Shark. It is a camera that actually still works. This camera still works. Matter of fact, it's still in the Voodoo Quad mount that I had on my Voodoo frame. But that camera, and of course these Amways. I don't know, y'all can see that pretty good, I'm sure. Amway cameras were the big rage too. Now both of these were CMOS cameras, and all of these work, by the way. They did great. Then I kind of moved over, tried to get a better picture quality, and I changed over to, this is a very generic camera. It's a 1177 style camera. Worked great for a long time. This was the standard for a minute in the mini quad game. And you know, we always were searching for a better picture quality. And it's kind of difficult to get because, to be honest with you, none of these cameras were originally made for what we do, which is racing quads or flying quads in general. And they were modified to, we have cameras that are supposed to be more directed toward what we do, better picture quality, more features. We can adjust all sorts of things now on them and make them work well. Well, there's some companies that do that well and some companies that don't. And I'm sure you guys can agree with me when it comes to a camera. You want something that not only views really well, but the most important part is that it needs to be durable. Because the reality of it is, when we fly these things, we're going to crash inevitably. We're going to clip a branch, go to the ground. Even some of us just don't know how to land, and we land too hard. And we can't have our camera going out on us every time we tap something. So the durability has to be up there. So no matter what quality the camera is, if it's not durable, then it doesn't really matter. It's not for this hobby. So case in point is the Foxeer camera. Now, I have a couple of guys that I fly with, and they swear by these things. And I spent my hard-earned money on all these cameras. You guys see all that in my hand? Look at that. You know me. I will go to the ends of the earth just to make sure that what I'm using is good, but at the same time, it can't do this. It can't break like this. It can't go out like this. This is ridiculous. Now, you know, the first one or two when they went out, and what would happen, let me kind of back up for a second and explain what happens when these go out. There's several different things that these cameras would do when they go out. Usually during normal, regular flight, during practice time, really, it wasn't really during a race. What would happen is I would be flying and I would clip a branch or something, or even just, you know, come through a gate and you know, I'm too low and I do that little tap and then it spins like crazy and it taps the ground again. Well, what that would do is the camera would immediately go white. All white. The picture is just totally white. And then it would slowly fade back into the correct picture. And then, you know, the first few times you let it slide. You're like, okay, you know, maybe something happened in there, jiggle something around, but it'll be fine, right? Well, when that happens more and more often, or even better yet, on that same camera, you go and you say, you hit a gate, and it all of a sudden just goes black. And it doesn't come back. And you're like, what the heck's going on? You take a look at the camera, you unplug it, you plug it back in, you try to reset, you do all this stuff, and it's not working. It doesn't work at all. And it makes you wonder, it's like, okay, was that me? Is it just, I'm flying really hard and I crashed and maybe I hit something harder than I thought. Well, then you look over the camera and you look at the exterior of the camera, you say to yourself, okay, well, if I hit something pretty hard, well, this is some sort of metal case. Well, the case isn't damaged, the lens isn't damaged, then what could it possibly be? Well, obviously there's a bunch of sensitive components in there. And so then you pull it apart and you want to look inside and see what's going on inside there and say, well, did I knock a component off? Is something burnt or what happened? So then you go in there, you look through it, you look it over and you can't find anything that's burnt. No traces burnt, no nothing. So once you get about 8 of these son of a guns and you realize, hold on a second, these are all doing the same thing. They're all failing on me in some form or fashion in pretty much the exact same way. You have to ask yourself, is that me now? Or after 8 cameras, that you really can't call that you if they're failing in the same way. Because if it was you, you're not going to crash in the same way every time. You're not going to be in the same spot every time. Something different is going to happen. Now let's also talk about something else before I get too far ahead. Let's talk about what type of quad I'm flying for the most part. None of my cameras are exposed. I'm flying these, and for those of you that don't know, this is a Tokyo. This is a molded Canopy. It used to be 3D printed, which was still strong then, and now it's even stronger. This is a molded Canopy, TPU, and nothing really touches the camera. As you can see, well, actually, let me grab one where my camera is actually in there. This one, the camera's not in there. Actually, I built this one for my dad. He's going to start flying quads, and I took the Foxeer out of this one because I'm not going to send him a quad with a camera that's faulty, even though it's brand new. Let me show you a quad with a camera in it. If you look in there, there's the lens and everything. The camera's in there. Now, obviously, this is not going to have a Foxeer in there because I retired them all. I got rid of all of them. I didn't care if they worked or not. I wasn't going to keep flying with that. I actually have a Runcam in there, and I'll tell you about some Runcams here in a minute. But the point of the matter is, if you look at this camera, this Canopy, look at it really, really closely. You see the scuffs? See the scuffs on it? Now, I'm not a perfect pilot by any means. I crash. This thing is dirty. It has all kinds of scuffs on it, all kinds of things. But guess what? That camera is untouched because all of them mount in here on their own mount separate of the Canopy. So for something to hit that camera, it would have to be a really skinny pole dead on or something really catastrophic in order to really hit this camera. So any type of bouncing and jiggling around shouldn't bother these cameras whatsoever. They shouldn't have a problem with that because that's what we're going to do. It's not always going to be, okay when we're flying. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you hit things. So you're supposed to build a product that can withstand at least the majority of that and last for you. So let's also talk about price. All of these cameras in between $35 and $40. That's a lot of money. So just like with the ESCs, are we going to sit here and accept product that isn't built to a good standard and then say to ourselves and justify to ourselves every time that, oh, it was me. Oh, it was, the situation. No, it wasn't the situation. It was the fact that they didn't build that to a good quality and high standard. So the reality is, to me, as soon as I switched over to Runcams, all of a sudden, I didn't have issues with that. I didn't have issues with tapping the ground and the camera turning off. I didn't have issues with, hitting branches or whatever and the camera doesn't work anymore. I have not broken, knock on wood, one Runcam yet. And so that tells me that, it's not like I'm flying that much better. Let's just be honest. It tells me that these Foxeers weren't that great in the first place. And as soon as I switched over to something different, that difference actually was better. So when it really comes down to it, I'm not telling you what to do here. I'm not telling you what choices to make. All I'm doing is laying information out there that I've accumulated and information that I think is important. And that information is you can't trust Foxeer. You can't trust them. Get you a Runcam. And let me tell you, I'm not faking the funk here. Look at this. Runcam. 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 All of those in there. You can't really look in there, but trust me, all of them rock. These are rocking the minis, or the micros. Sorry. Another one. This is Runcam in there. Even my 4-inch, my little itty bitties. Where's my 2-inch? My 3-inch. I mean, look at this. These are all Runcams now. I don't even deal with Foxeer anymore because you let me down. Now, I'm going to tell you the other part of this. I contacted Foxeer, and Foxeer told me, well, if you're having a similar problem, then more than likely these can be fixed. I'm like, great. Tell me where to send them. I'll send them all to you. You can fix those for me. They're like, no. You can find someone to fix them. Find someone to fix them? Look here, guys. If you're going to stand behind your product, and it's something that someone has spent their hard-earned money on, and you're going to tell them find someone to fix it, you're probably not that great of a company then. That's all I really have to say about that. Talk to you guys soon. I got a whole nother video coming up, and we're going to talk about these things right here. And I know most of you have them. And I know you know exactly what this is, and I have a bone to pick with them. See you next time.